Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Making Sense. With me today, I have Chad Curran, who is a commercial banker here at NBC. And then I have our special guest is Jeremy Kachuba, who is the Senior Vice President of Operations at the Duluth Area Family YMCA.
You got it.
See? I got it. And I'm Hannah Willis. I'm the Marketing Director at NBC. So thank you to both of you for joining today. And I don't think we're going to need this, but on the table, Jeremy, is the jar called the Jargon Jar. So if you start using acronyms or Chad starts using acronyms that maybe the general public isn't super familiar with, we'll have you pay into the Jargon Jar.
Got it.
Okay.
So we can say just the Y, though?
You can say just the Y. Yeah, we'll establish that now.
Okay.
The YMCA, you can just say the Y.
All right, perfect.
So we want to talk a little bit about nonprofits and banking. So can you tell us a little bit about the YMCA? Is the YMCA a nonprofit? And then just tell us a little bit about where your locations are, and then a little bit about the Y's mission, if you can.
Yeah, perfect. So the Y is an international program. We have YMCAs all across the world, and the YMCA in Duluth got started in 1870 with programs and services in the community. Our first physical building opened up in 1882. You can still see the stairs in what is now the Teen Challenge building. So if you go into that building, you can see the old stairs down into the pool. But we've evolved and grown since 1882 when that first physical building opened up to 5 locations. So we're basically serving from as far south as Sturgeon Lake up to Grand Marais and then up onto the range and over here in Superior now.
Okay.
3 membership-based branches, which is kind of those, for lack of a better term, a gym and swim. So it's got your pool and it's got your area gym to work out, group exercise spaces. And then we have a Camp Miller down in Sturgeon Lake, which opened up in 1898.
Wow.
It's the 4th oldest Y camp in the United States and the oldest camp of any kind in the state of Minnesota.
Is the Y a nonprofit?
The Y is a nonprofit. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's kind of the Y's mission? What's the Y's why?
Well, our mission is really to provide high-quality programs and services to the community. That comes through our 3 focus areas, which are social responsibility, healthy living, and youth development. All of our programs roll up into those 3 focus areas. So healthy living will be things like group exercise classes, our gym space, playing basketball. Social responsibility will be things like our Blue Cross and Blue Shield MNsure navigation program, food access, and then youth development is going to be things like swim lessons, after-school programming, and our Camp Miller programming.
Okay. How many members do you have throughout those 5 locations?
Yeah, so throughout our 5 locations, we have over 15,000 members, and then we serve over 1,000 kids per day in our after-school programs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big impact. And then this guy to your right, Chad. How did you meet Chad?
Yeah, so I think I met Chad back in 2018, maybe the spring of 2019.
Okay.
We were opening up our new building in Hermantown, the YMCA at the Essential Wellness Center, and we approached Chad to be on our advisory council. So to provide some support with really making sure we were getting the building open successfully and providing high quality programs and services to the community. So Chad was one of our first advisory council members.
Okay. So Chad, was that kind of your first relationship? Is that how your relationship kind of started with the Y? Did you go there before? Were you a member? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I had heard about the Y, but I knew it really is more, as Jeremy described, as a gym and swim. And I kind of knew that they did other things. I had no idea, what. And so, when Jeremy and I met in, like you said, either late 18 or early 19, as he was forming that advisory council for the Hermantown Y, it was really my first introduction to the depth of what the Y gets involved in, and it's been learning for 5 years. There is really nothing that the Y won't get into or try to help with, whether it's just leading or supporting. But outside of a gym and swim, there's so much more that they do, and I guess it's been 5 years, and it's been enlightening and a lot of fun to be a part of.
Yeah. And are you still on this advisory committee, or are you now on the board?
Still both. I'm still
Both. Okay, so
on the advisory council for
Okay.
which again specifically focuses on the Hermantown branch.
Okay.
What happens in those walls, programming, membership, events, and then join the association board in I believe March of 19. Time is flying.
yeah, time is flying.
Yeah.
So what is the difference, Jeremy, you can answer this. What is the difference between, or maybe Chad, you can answer too, the needs of a for-profit business and the needs of a nonprofit business? Or are they kind of the same needs?
Well, I think from a financial perspective, there's the same needs. You need to provide a sustainable organization, a model that is going to ensure that sustainability. The difference with the nonprofit is we reinvest back into the community. So we look at what are the community needs, and again, that rolls up into our 3 focus areas. So if there's a stronger need in food access and we're sustainable, then we're going to be able to recommit and invest in our community in those food access programs. If there are things happening like maybe in our downtown location, we have mental health concerns, we're really going to look and see like what is the Y's role in helping meet the needs of the mental health concerns that are happening throughout our communities.
Yeah. And then what challenges was the Y facing that NBC kind of helped out with? Were you banking local with NBC before Chad came into the picture, or was that kind of a transition moment? How did that timeline kind of roll out?
Yeah, we've had a strong relationship with NBC for years,
Okay.
involved with banking, but also leadership like Chad. We've had
Yeah.
NBC members on our board of directors for years, since before me. And
Yeah.
I've been with the Y for over 25 years now.
Wow.
I think really some of the challenges that Chad and your team here at NBC help us navigate through most recently are just COVID, helping
Yeah, for
us
sure.
understand the loans and the dollars that were available to nonprofits in the community. And so Chad played a key role in making sure that we were sustainable during some really difficult times.
Because nonprofits, like, they take out loans and stuff too, right?
They can, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then we provided them some help during COVID, which, again, like you said, was huge, I'm sure, because you guys were shut down for, I'm sure, quite a while.
Yeah, yep. We shut down. The first go around was for 3 months, and then COVID decided to come back around at the end of the year, and
Yeah.
we shut down for almost another month at the end of the year.
Yeah. Chad, can you talk a little bit about why banking local with a community bank is important for a nonprofit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to the kind of the mutual support, right? I mean,
Yeah.
all of our dollars too are spent locally and supporting the organizations, that are working in our community. And so, between 2 local organizations that want what's best for our region, it works well. There's a lot of synergies when it comes to that. And Jeremy said it best. They're just because it's a nonprofit, they still have to operate with
Yeah.
under the budget and finances that they're getting, and they've been great stewards of their resources to support the needs of the community. And they've got a really strong team that Jeremy is part of, with a strong CFO and really a strong leadership with Sarah Cole, the CEO.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing, too, that maybe, like, other nonprofits or other businesses in general might not know is, like, when you bank local, like, we are, like, if you're depositing money here, like, we're putting that money back into the community, like, for loans or whatever. So these nonprofits that serve our region but then bank with a big bank are just really honestly doing, like, a disservice to the community. So it's great to know that you guys have, not only just banked with NBC, but for that long, too, is really great.
Well, I think a big piece of it, too, is the relationship-based organizations that we both are.
Yeah.
Our nonprofit would not survive without great partnerships in the community, and I think your whole team here at NBC has been a great partner, but especially under Chad's leadership, and really he's doing more than just looking, treating it as a banking relationship. He's invested in our communities, invested in our programs, and that, really helps us strengthen that relationship, which is, I think it's great from a partnership perspective, but also ensuring that we have people that we can trust that we're working with.
Yeah. And then, just the side of it too, like you sitting on the advisory council on the board, and like you said, we've had positions on your guys' board for like 25 years. So just another aspect of like kind of giving back, like serving in those board spots is great.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Chad's sitting right next to you, but
Yeah.
what's it like working with Chad?
Well, I was speaking to that a little bit. Just the relationship-based aspect that he brings to our partnership. I think it's maybe more than just that, though. I've jumped in the lake as part of a fundraiser with Chad in late October. I've watched him help serve meals. He shows up, and I think that's the biggest thing I could say about Chad is he shows up.
Yeah.
And puts the hard work in to help make our community a better place.
Yeah. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, it's the better that I understand the why and what they do, all the programming, the better banker I can be. I can anticipate needs, raise options or ideas in board meetings or in council meetings. It's a nonprofit that relies heavily on their staff, but also volunteers too.
Yeah.
There's, the events that they put on require a lot of manpower, people power to put them on, and so volunteering and just seeing the impact that you have in the community when you're volunteering at these events, and you probably could speak to it from the Miracle League as well.
Yep.
The impact of the volunteers to help put these programs on is huge. But again, that's what a community bank and a community partner like the YMCA, the collaboration that they have make these events great and makes the community better overall. So
I think I like what you said too, is just like the relationship, like just knowing, like obviously you're not an expert in finance, so just knowing that you have somebody who is. Chad, are you an expert in finance?
Not sure about that, but they've got a strong CFO.
But just somebody who you can hey, like, should we do this? Should we look into this? Having that trusted partner is really nice because like you can't be an expert in everything. Right. So that's awesome. What words of wisdom, guidance, advice would you give to other nonprofits who maybe aren't banking locally, or just advice in general?
Yeah, I ask. You don't know if you don't ask.
And maybe they don't know, right, what they're missing out on, or like the impact that, like we talked about, like the impact that banking locally does have.
Yeah, well, the bank is really supportive of so many local nonprofits. We have so many people that are sitting on boards of nonprofits, and I think knowing and understanding the resources that are out there for all different challenges that are going on, but getting involved, I think, is the first step. But for nonprofits, I think if it's a local bank, check in with them.
Yeah.
Ask some questions, inquire. If you're looking for board members or advisory council, whatever the leadership looks like there, ask. And I just think that our local presence supporting local initiatives is a big priority for us, and so I would welcome any other nonprofits out there to check in with us.
Yeah. Jeremy, anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, and I think that's, I can just echo Chad's statements of just getting to know your local banks.
Yeah, for sure.
You can, as a nonprofit, honestly, you can choose any bank that
Yes,
you want.
yes.
But take the time to get to know them. It becomes a trusted partnership.
Yeah.
Anybody on our team can reach out to Chad. We can dial him and have him on site or in a meeting in the blink of an eye. And so that service, looking for service and making sure that you have a trusted partner, is extremely valuable in not only the nonprofit world, but the for-profit world. So just, we really have valued that commitment to our programs and services outside of just we're providing you some financial advice. And that's what we see every day. Not only with Chad, but Hannah, I know you've been a part of our programs. Many others on your team have been a part of the volunteer process and really helping us function as an organization.
Yeah. I like that you said to just explore like any local bank. Like I say this, I've said this before, of course we would love for nonprofits to bank with us, but we understand there's other people out there. That's great. But you really, really, really should be banking with somebody local, whether that be NBC or not. And I agree, since meeting you and, having our meetings and volunteering, with Food Access or with the Miracle League, it's like you guys do so much more than I think people even really understand. So I would recommend that people like look at your website and like look at the programs that you have, and you're making like such a big impact.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah.
It's a really great organization.
Yeah.
Anything else before we wrap up?
No, I just want to say thank you for all the time and effort that you put into helping the Y meet the needs of the community. That's really what's important. It's our name on the side of the building, but all of our facilities and programs are truly a community-based program.
Yeah.
And you all really put in the time and effort, so just thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say thanks to the Y for your business, for trusting us with your business. It's a great relationship, and we just want to be here to support the Y however we can. And that's the beauty of the Y, is that the dollars raised through sponsorships or events go right back into supporting that programming, and it's important to see.
We all love a good symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Chad. And we will see you next time.